Oh, hi. Welcome to the Ranshaw house. So this house is owned by the city of North Liberty, but it was constructed in 1908 by Samuel and Emma Ranshaw. Samuel was the wealthiest farmer in Johnson County in 1908, believe it or not. Recently, I was visiting with another owner of another home right outside of town. She owns a home that was built in that same era, and she shared with me that all of the farmers in that time period were building houses, and everyone wanted theirs to be one step better than the last. So that's part of the reason why this house is what it is. You look at it from the outside, not really too much that spectacular. It's a white, square house. But what Samuel Ranshaw did with this house was he basically created a smart home in 1908. So it had hot and cold running water. You'll notice there are no fireplaces in the house as we walk through. It had a boiler that heated the house back in 1908. It also had a water softener, which was extremely unusual. The electric generator that was installed with the house still resides in the basement, intact and the way it was in 1908. So what's cool about this house? There are all kinds of things that are cool. Right now, we're standing in what people that have lived in the home before have referred to as Grandma's bedroom. Grandma had a bed stacked up against the window, and she was elevated out, and they would open the sliders to let her be a part of the conversation or not. And this is where Grandma lived. Going around this way, here where our shelving unit is, this is the original dumbwaiter was located there. It had the capacity to go all the way from the basement to the attic. So you could take, if you were making canned goods, you could put them on the dumbwaiter, take them down to the storage room. If you were to have stuff to go up to storage, you could put it on it, take it up to the attic, and away you went. So what a great repurposing of it to be able to use it for storage. So we're going to go up the back staircase. A lot of people refer to it as the servants' staircase. In this home, they did not have servants. What I have been told historically was this was the stairs that the family used, that no one was allowed to use the staircase that you'll see in a little while, but this was the staircase that everyone had to use on a daily basis. So let's check them out. Door to the attic. Used to be a really cool location, had a floor like the floors that you see up here in the attic, so it could be used really well for storage. Now we've insulated it so that we can have heat and air conditioning in the unit. The original walk-in closet. How cool is this? Can you imagine in 1910 moving in and having a walk-in closet to be used for your storage and all your clothes? The exciting part, the original bathroom was this size. This, of course, isn't the original bathroom. There was a fire in the house in the 1970s that destroyed the kitchen in this bathroom. So, of course, we've had to restore it. But the size is appropriate. It isn't a renovated bedroom converted to a bathroom. It is the bathroom, as shown on the original black prints. Nice wide hallways, very grand. So here we have one of the smaller bedrooms. In the 80s and 90s, this house was used as a daycare, and this wall was removed in that process. It might have been before that as well. So part of the restoration project, we've put the wall back in. In the 70s, there was an apartment up here, so you can see the lines on the floor where the cabinetry was located when this was the kitchen. Something else to note is the floors up here are Douglas fir. The floors downstairs are oak. Why is that? The expensive floors were downstairs, the cheaper floors were upstairs. The woodwork, all of the wood on each of those floors is representative of that. So this is all Douglas fir, and downstairs is all oak. This would have been likely the main bedroom. It's the largest of the bedrooms on this level with a closet. We are bringing desks in so that social service organizations can eventually meet with clientele in this space and have the ability to not have North Liberty residents have to go to Iowa City or Coralville or anywhere else to receive their services. The services can be brought to them. Another larger bedroom. This could have been the main bedroom. One doesn't know. And then probably my favorite room in the house. Margaret Morgan grew up here in the right after the Depression. Samuel Ranshaw lost the house in the Depression, and the next family that moved in, Margaret Morgan, was one of the children. Margaret was in this part of the room, and her little sister used the little alcove for her bedroom. So let's go down the cool front stairs. These would have been reserved specifically for guests and for fancy occasions. Margaret Morgan related seeing her favorite memory was her cousin getting married here and coming down the stairs in her bridal gown as her other cousin played the piano to escort her down the stairs. This would have been the formal sitting space, the parlor. This would have been the area that no one was allowed in except for special occasions and guests. Now our park staff, I think this is a cool feature. When we got into the house for the first time, somebody was messing around and found out, oops, voila, these come off. Guess what was tucked inside? Candy wrappers. So obviously we weren't the first ones to discover that those came off. Piano, which would have been very comparable to what would have been here in the early 1900s. This would have been the living space. So this would have been your living room, family room, the space that everybody would have hung out in on a regular basis. This door here would have been the one that everyone would have used to access the porch rather than the main door. The main door would have been pretty exclusive. One of the cool features of this home is that all of the woodwork was left intact, including the pillars. I was told that these are sculpted plaster rather than wood, but pretty cool to see that they've been maintained intact with all of their integrity. That was the big reason why when the city purchased this home in 2005, it was determined that it didn't make sense to just tear it down. This room would have been the dining room, not necessarily a formal dining room because it would have been where all of the family would have eaten. The kitchen was laid out differently than it is now on the original plans. Of course, these rooms, which are bathrooms, weren't here. So the kitchen would have come to this threshold right here, had sort of a framed-in wall with a swinging door that would have divided it from this space. To the left of that door, there was a built-in china cabinet with a pass-through so that you could pass food from the kitchen to the dining room when you were eating. The kitchen had a sink under the window with, of course, hot and cold running water, a stove, but no refrigerator, of course, in that era. They would have used the basement as their chiller space for what they needed, but they also wouldn't have kept much refrigerated because they had cattle for dairy, chickens for eggs, and anything else. They just didn't need refrigeration. There was a fire in here that completely changed the layout of the kitchen. So when I came into the house in 2005, there were Gen-Air appliances, hoity-toity. So now that the city has invested plenty of money to restore it back to its beautiful self, now is the time that the city can use it for other things to help the community. Summer Lunch and Fun has been housed here for several years. It's a great opportunity to use the beautiful yard space, provide a space for kids to run around while giving them a lunch every day during the summer. The plan is, as soon as everything is done and the contractor hands it over to us fully, is to utilize the spaces upstairs so that social services can be provided here. We'd also like to partner with other organizations to do like teen groups and other community activities in the space. It will also be available for rental for bridal showers, baby showers, small little events, if necessary going forward.